Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Ocarina of Fire here. Hope everyone's ready to kick off 2014 and to kick off the NFL playoffs. So, Wildcard weekend this Saturday. This video here will be talking about the two AFC games, and then I'll have another video either tonight or tomorrow talking about the NFC game. So, nothing will be all rushed and put all together in one. So, each game will get its due diligence. And to kick it off, we will begin with the Kansas City Chiefs going to visit the Indianapolis Colts. Be Saturday at 4:30 on NBC. The Colts are a 2.5-point home favorite, and that's usually that's not a surprise considering most home teams are favored in the playoffs. But 2.5 points means Vegas is expecting a very close game, and the advantage of the Colts just because they're at home. So on the injury front, Kansas City rested most of their starters versus the Chargers last week, so they should be just about 100%. Dwayne Bowe is still going through the concussion protocol, and if there's any setback with this game being on Saturday, it's unlikely he'll be able to play this Saturday afternoon. But as of right now, he's on schedule and does look to play. As for the Colts, Vontae Davis went down last week versus the Jaguars with a groin injury first half. He got an MRI, came up negative, so he's day-to-day. Looks he'll play as well. The Colts will be getting back Ricky Jean-Francois and Corey Redding on the D-line and should have Mike McGlynn back on the offensive line. So the Colts and Chiefs are both going to be relatively healthy, so each team's been bringing their A game. The key to the game for the Indianapolis Colts defensively is going to be stop Jamal Charles. With Jamal Charles, loves the zone running, the cutback, to use his speed, get to the outside, and make defenders miss. The Colts really have to keep him in the box. The Chiefs really don't have the offensive weapons to the outside, so what they always try to do against teams like that is they're going to bring their corners up, Toller and Davis, to really stuff the receivers, play them one-on-one, and then let Laurent Landry and Antoine Bethea just roam the box, be those 7th and 8th defenders, and do what they do best, run stuff, and play physical up front. Kansas City, what they got to do, their key is to basically stay on track and keep on schedule offensively. They've got to stay in 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, because the Colts have been generating a pass rush over the past month or so and have been forcing a lot of turnovers. So it's important for Kansas City to stay in those 3rd and manageable so they can use their entire playbook. So the screen game, the draw game, the quick passes that Alex Smith is so good at, so it all stays into account. They don't want to get one-dimensional. They got to keep running the ball. They got to be able to complete the short stuff because the Colts have been able to stop the run as of late, but they've shown over the year that they have been able to beat deep, and they've been able to be ran on. So Dwayne Bowe, if he plays, is going to have a big game. Those big, tall receivers usually give the Colts a little bit of problems because they don't have the biggest corners, but the Colts have done a great job guarding Dwayne Bowe and guarding receivers for the past month or so. Andre Johnson had one of his career worst games. So, on to the flip side, the Colts got to protect Andrew Luck. Tom Bailey, Houston, they'll all be back for Kansas City. That pass rush has kind of gone away over the second half of the season, but the talent is still there. The Colts really need to protect Andrew Luck. If Luck is on his feet the whole game and not being sacked, the Colts should win this game. He's been hot. T.Y. Hilton's been hot. Trent Richardson's finally getting it going a little bit. And for the Chiefs defensively, they just got to get after the quarterback, and they got to stop the short stuff. They've been doing a lot of short stuff with T.Y. Hilton, with Griff Whalen as of late, and they all got to just make Andrew Luck beat you deep. Don't let T.Y. Hilton make the big play. Take him away and let Griff Whalen or Derrick Rogers beat you. If the Chiefs do that, they will be very successful in this game. The key in these games are special teams as well. Kansas City has a lot of playmakers returning on punt and kick return, and the Colts have a great punt unit. Pat McAfee is one of the best in the league, and a great field goal kicker in Adam Vinatieri, one of the all-time best. So, special teams, Colts kicking the ball wise, and the Chiefs returning the ball. The field goal kicking is definitely a big weapon in the playoffs, and special teams, a big return can completely change the game. So both sides are going to have to find a way to bottle up the returners and to make sure that the Colts aren't getting into field goal range. So the Chiefs defense really is going to have to keep the Colts on their side of the 50. So as a prediction, I expect the Colts to win this game in a close one, 24-27, 24-20, like a close game, maybe a Vinatieri field goal to win it at the end, but I expect the Colts to win this one at home and move on. On to the next game. We got the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the San Diego Chargers. The Chargers are a 7-point dog after a crazy Week 17 game that they should have lost, should have won, should have lost. So, Bengals-Chargers. don't want to say it, but I think San Diego is one of the most dangerous teams in this postseason because Phillip Rivers is starting to get hot. That offense is coming around, and they're very underrated. They've beat a lot of good teams. They've beaten the Colts. They've beaten the Broncos. They've beaten the Chiefs twice, even the ones with their B team. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go in there and beat the Cincinnati Bengals. We've seen that offense get stagnant at times. Last week versus the Ravens, Andy Dalton threw 4 interceptions, but their defense was able to bail them out. I don't know if that defense is going to be good enough to stop Phillip Rivers when he's rolling. When Phillip Rivers starts rolling, when Gates is involved and Keenan Allen's involved, when they're getting all their playmakers around, it's going to be tough for that Cincinnati defense that's kind of banged up to stop them. Offensively for Cincinnati, it's going to be very important for them to keep on pace. They got to get Green Ellis the ball. They got to use Bernard in the screen game, and then feed A.J. Green. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL, and no one can guard him. When he's covered, he's open. So if Dalton can get him the ball, and if they can keep Dalton upright in the pocket, being able to step up and throw the ball deep, they're going to be fine. They're not really banged up as much, either side. So another game where there's not going to be much injuries. So it's going to be important for both sides just to stay on course. Both teams like to stretch the field. They like to spread everyone out and then shred you. So both these defenses are going to have to step up. Eric Weddle, especially for San Diego, is going to have to be all over the field, making tackles, making plays, deflections. So he's probably the playmaker to watch for the Chargers on defense. As for the Bengals, it comes down to Andy Dalton. Is he finally ready to get him over the hump? Is he ready to take the next step and win a playoff game? Because he's 0-3 right now, 0-2 right now in the playoffs, and this is his third chance. So third time was the charm for Peyton Manning. Hopefully the third time will be the charm for Andy Dalton too. So as I said before, the Bengals are 7-point favorites, and I wouldn't be surprised if San Diego did pull off an upset, but if I was a betting man, I would take the 7 points, and I'd bet the Chargers. So I feel it's going to be closer than 7 points. So I think the Bengals win this game, 28-20, 34-27, 34-31. It's going to be a close game, a little high scoring because these offenses are both rolling. Both have the potential to put up a lot of points. So we'll see how it turns out with this game as well. All right, so that's all I got for this video, talk about the AFC games. Check back in the next couple days, couple hours for an NFC video. As always, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment. Go Colts. Playoff football is back. Ocarina of Fire checking out. Have a good one. Happy New Year.